Welcome to another episode of the Top Corner Podcast, and today is Monday.
It's Monday.
And
it feels like a Monday too, doesn't it?
We will recap everything that happened during the weekend. Not everything, but whatever we'll choose to talk about. And today's co-host is Julian. Julian, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. I think that we deserve a pat on the back. We've been doing a good job about getting all this stuff out there. Even on like slower news days or days where there aren't as many exciting matchups, but there are exciting matchups. We still talk about them. You and I are running a little ragged.
Yeah.
You're working on one leg right now.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to tell them what happened to your leg at all, or you want to leave it to a mystery?
Well, I went to the Spartan race. Most people might not know it. It's just a competition, and it was 13.2 miles, and it had so many obstacles. I lost track. We were in the swamps. We were jumping, running, hula hooping. Everything was in.
Hula hooping?
Yeah. I mean, like.
How long did you have to hula hoop?
We didn't really hula hoop.
Okay, gotcha.
But there was like.
That's a new addition.
There was like wall climbing, wall jumping.
Yeah.
There's like swamps. At some point, just one swamp, I was deep in there.
Damn.
And I slid at some point somewhere in one of those swamps. One was like, I didn't get to finish the race because of my leg. I did 11 miles, but the other swamp after the 12th mile, my friend was like, "Hey, that one was 1 mile just in the swamp."
Yeah.
I'm talking about dirty water.
Yep.
Everything.
Yeah,
So
Man.
That's why I feel a little bit weird today.
Because you aggravated a pre-existing injury.
Yeah.
You didn't re-injure it, you think?
No, I don't think
it was
injured.
It was just kind of strained.
Yeah.
A little too much.
I think soreness, strain, and the fact that it probably hasn't recovered fully
from the surgery.
Yeah. So because I was walking pretty decent the last 2 hours, and also I have shin splint, so
Jesus.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, because you text me like the night after that race, and you were like, "My knee feels like butter." And I was like, don't mention
like you
that.
touch it like that.
There's like a bunch of fluid in there. That makes me upset because my brother played. I played football, but I actually didn't have any major injuries at all. And my younger brother played less than me, but got way more injured, and he had to get his knee drained like 3 or 4 times. He's like younger. And I had to watch the procedure, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up."
Yeah,
'cause I've always been scared of knees.
Yeah,
knee injuries, because there's a lot going on in the knee capsule, and just scary stuff, man.
They'll never get injured on the knee. Never.
Try not to. It's not like you tried to. You're like, today I feel like tearing my ACLs. But yeah, I mean, it's funny watching you get up the stairs to the studio.
Talking about injuries, I think. Yeah. Talking about injuries, I think Nick Pope got injured.
He did. Yeah.
Let's talk about Newcastle, Manchester United. And before we talk about that, talking about injuries, looks like Newcastle might be shopping for a new goalkeeper in actually pretty close because January is coming.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, and that's a real bummer because who do you get that's anywhere close? Yeah,
Ramsdale.
But then Ramsdale's going to be in the same situation that he's currently in. I think he wants to start because he knows.
No, because it depends though. So that's why I never liked the position of goalkeeper, right? Because as soon as you get injured, because these are not players, right? Because you can rotate. As soon as you get injured, if you come back after 4 months and Ramsdale is already performing very well, it's difficult for the coach to say. I think that's actually the first manager in the history of manager that I see doing stuff like that with the goalkeeper
to openly challenge the goalkeeper.
Because usually when the goalkeeper is already firm in that position,
you don't touch it.
You don't touch it, and that's why I usually said back in the days when you had like Casillas, you had Buffon. I was like, man, even look at what was that? Valdez, former Barcelona goalkeeper. His second was Pinto. Pinto never got to play unless he was sick or unless Valdez was injured, like not long injuries. And Pinto was awful. Valdez wasn't better either, but
But so then what happens to Nick Pope if
he will not be playing? Because what will happen is
he's clearly a better keeper than Ramsdale, though.
Well, it depends now because now he's injured and Ramsdale will come in depending on how long his injury will take for him to heal and be back. Ramsdale will already be there. He will already be the number one. At this point, it will be difficult to change, especially when someone is back from injuries. If you keep interchanging, might mess up the flow. If he gets, acclimated to Newcastle and just get to play. And honestly, because Arteta said he wants Ramsdale to stay.
Yeah.
Today he just said it.
You want to have a backup keeper that is much better than a backup keeper is supposed to be. But you assume that he wants to be there still.
Yeah, but if I'm Ramsdale, the difference with my backup keeper is like I'm actually a good keeper. Yeah. It's difficult to have a backup keeper that's that good,
very trustworthy, and
just become second. He will not want to take it, and he's so young right now, so he might wanna. He probably want to leave. I know I think his family or his dad is his agent or something.
Yeah, his dad gets a little chatty online,
which
sometimes.
I didn't kind of like, for the fact that at the end of the day, a sport is you gotta be competitive, so you gotta win your place.
Yeah.
But also in that way, Ramsdale, if I am him, I might be leaving. I might see my way out just because I want to compete. I want to be the best. So I want to be the first. And I played very well last season. So.
Yeah, I thought he did.
Actually, to be honest, I don't see what Raya has over Ramsdale yet, unless someone point out things that he has that I haven't seen yet. But
the point was that he was supposed to have better distribution and be better with his feet, and most of the mistakes that I've seen Raya make have been with his feet. So I don't really see him as a true upgrade, or an upgrade that's good enough to have rocked the boat. That was already a good thing going. Yeah.
Not saying Raya, because Raya is killing it, but for me it's just.
He's been in good form lately. He made several mistakes in that first string of like 4 or 5 games in the Premier League that he started in.
Yeah.
But after seeing Ramsdale last week start and be very shaky, it seems like things are kind of
rusty,
Yeah.
I haven't played in a while.
Yeah.
Man, I'm unfortunate for him, but if I'm him, I'm still probably will leave. Although I don't know, probably next season I might play. I don't know.
Yeah.
So. Newcastle is actually playing football right now.
They look good. They look very team oriented. Yeah.
United just look like they look like every time I watch them, they look like unseasoned chicken, bland. There's nothing going on. It's just boring.
I like that.
It's just boring. They look like they mentally checked out before they get to the stadium. Before the referee blows the whistle to start, they are out. I mean, people were walking. You see,
Rashford was walking.
Rashford was walking.
I was going to ask you if you saw that or not.
Oh man,
wild.
These guys were not even backtrack. I mean, they did not even attempt to backtrack.
Yeah,
they were just like, oh, whatever. I don't know if it's a lot of people are saying might be the decision of, or you can tell with the body language that they're not happy about the tactics. They're not happy about.
I don't give a shit. Track back,
but you gotta get the ball. It's not about being happy. You're here for a job.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to play because now, at this point, I don't think Erik ten Hag is the problem in the sense that if I give you the tactics, I give you the playbook, I expect you to go on that stadium and just execute what I said.
Right.
I don't care if you don't want to play left, you don't want to play right. At the end, I'm the boss. Right.
Yeah.
You get big money. You better start playing that big money getting.
And there was a time in the season where he was the problem. The team was working a bit harder than they currently are, and it still wasn't working out. But it looks like, and I'm not saying that his tactics have gotten better. I remember this was like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just asked you, just genuinely asked, I was like, what tactics do you see when you watch a Manchester United game? What are they actually trying to do? Because it looks like there's no real scheme. They're just trying to not turn the ball over, and they're still failing at that. But it's like they still don't have identifiable tactics in terms of like, I see what person A and B are trying to do. Like there still is none of that. The difference is, it seems like he's lost the locker room enough to where they are now playing at half speed or a quarter speed. It's like they are giving up on him.
I wonder if having players that because he didn't come in with Rashford, he didn't come in with Martial. So I wonder if having players that he came in or at least bought, or at least even 50 to 60% might change the course, because right now.
But no one that he's brought in has performed well though.
not because of that. Because
okay.
Look at this way: if you have a few bad apples and a big bag of good apples, it don't matter, right? Because that will still transmit. They're all rotten. But what if he had more? Because if you see when he puts, I feel like whenever he had tactics in place, it's not been executed because probably you said probably because he's lost the locker room or players don't respect him.
It really seems that way
like
now.
That. Yeah, it seems
lately
it
seems like they've lost him.
Now that's why I wonder if he be having most of his own players, what would have been the outcome?
I get you.
Because it might have been different. Because if you see players that we complain about Maguire. Maguire seemed to be the only person on that stadium the other day that wanted to win, that wanted to.
Well, because he still has a lot to prove.
Yeah,
and he's slowly working his way back. Into good graces. But
what if we just unpopular opinion? Sell Rashford, sell Anthony, sell
Martial.
No, I told him Martial. Yeah, sell him.
Yeah.
What can we sell again? Man, if I'm there, I'm selling half of them.
Varane's going to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Well, Varane, it's not really a problem because at the end of the day, this guy he's already proven whatever.
Right.
But you want him out.
But if he goes to Saudi, you will get more money than you would have expected, and then you can use that in a better way for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I would I
would do that. That's an intelligent investment.
Yeah,
I would do that. I would probably even because I feel like even Fernandez, he can play, but nothing. Even in Champions League, I saw him wanted to play. They had this thing. He kept shouting at players. He kept doing, "What are you guys doing? Hey, he wants to play, but the team is so dysfunctional. Like I said, it's like mentally they are out. They're not. There's just cops running around and doing whatever they can do."
At least McTominay is used to running around not knowing what he's doing. He seems very at home.
Yeah,
and they just run around and hope for the best.
Garnacho, Meno, that kid, he has a
works
bright
hard.
future.
He's good, man.
He has a bright future. I will let him in.
That was the thing about just really, really fast, especially in the early stages. Garnacho was closing down passing lanes. He was getting a foot in front of the ball to shut down any sort of build up from Newcastle from the back. Like he was making some interesting little cutoffs and little flick backs, and just he looked pretty sharp on defense for a forward. It seemed like whenever he put a leg or a foot out, he was coming back down with the ball. It was impressive.
Well, I know people, especially I'm pretty sure if you look at the English, Ten Hag is probably on fire. But at this point, I'm not sure if I want to attribute the blame to him or to the team players. Because it's every single person. There's one thing, right?
Yeah.
The coach can just be blamed when you can see things on the stadium look like the proper tactics, the proper advices are not being listened or executed. But it's another thing when you see players on the team. Nobody cares when you're on the team. It's you, right?
Yeah.
You don't backtrack. That's not the coach fault. You don't play this part. That's not the coach fault.
He can't make you do
are
that.
Fumbling. That's not the he can't do that.
Yep.
You guys, as soon as I already gave you what I have given you, I expect you to go there and just kill it.
Yeah.
We can talk about Erik ten Hag, but at this point, I'm not sure. I used to give him a lot of the blame, but at this point, I'm like,
well, and he deserved it at certain points.
He deserved it in the beginning because we didn't really understand but the more I see him switching and things, I'm starting to understand that the reason why he's switching a lot, probably one, to find the sweet spot. Two, it's probably the fact that players are not getting the result that he was expecting. So he keeps, switching a lot. But
here's a question then: does Rashford start again?
To be honest, I feel like Rashford should be out.
I agree.
Because when he's in, there is no intent of trying to work hard.
Oh yeah.
Especially when he doesn't have the ball, and when he does have the ball, his decision making are quite questionable. And there's all of that going around, and you figure if we remove Rashford, probably drop in another player, will that be better? Yeah. Will we play better on the wings? Will we track back? Because if one player is not tracking back, you're creating a hole.
It shuts everything else down.
So everybody has to work hard. And guess what? Another person will be like, why will I work hard when he's not working hard?
Yeah, I'm having to work twice as hard to cover his position because he's refusing to track back.
Yeah, because when you're getting discouraged, it's discouraging all the team. That's why for anyone in this life, if you have a group of people and you have the same objective, the minute one in that group of people doesn't have the same mindset, you gotta kick him out. Because what will happen is the next 2-3 days, for whatever time it takes, he will contaminate the rest, and they say, well, he has lost the respect. Who cares about I'm the boss. I don't care if you respect me or not. When I tell you to do something, you freaking do it.
You're being paid way more than the average person does for their tasks and their jobs and what's expected of them on a daily basis. I have no sympathy for, and I mean, I get that they're people too, but I have no sympathy for you not fulfilling half of what you need to be doing on the pitch.
Yeah,
you work 90 minutes a week essentially. I'm not saying that training doesn't count as a job, but like this is what you get paid for. And so here's a good question then: do you try to just unload Rashford in January? Do you just put him on the market for January?
I'll probably unload Rashford and Martial. And I'll tell you what: if the team gets to a position where everybody they regain team chemistry, even Maguire won't be the problem. I'm telling you, Maguire will be one of the best at that defense. Yeah, because when the team is so dysfunctional, everybody is dysfunctional. Yeah, how do you regain confidence? How do everyone play in a synchronized manner? That's the question they should be answering. So offload them. Yeah, get them out. I like Rashford. He's my boy, but
really
the way, he's Rashford, Saka. They're all my guys, man. Okay. But the thing about it is, if you keep jogging on the pitch, you keep, not backtracking, playing when you feel like this not your dad's.
Like I feel like he either had the ball taken off of him or he lunged in for a tackle, and it was sidestepped easily, and then he just gives up, walks away, and then now all of a sudden, I think Fernandez was having to cover two people at once, and it's an absolute nightmare.
How about Amrabat? So Amrabat, did you see the African Cup well, it was the World Cup actually. You saw the World Cup. Yeah. Morocco. Amrabat plays so well for Morocco, but I don't know what's happening right now. Is it just because he's adjusting yet, or do we give him the time or the period to assimilate to the league? Yeah. So because he's not playing what we expect him. Expecting him to be playing.
Well, that's the scary thing about putting a lot of stock in a player based on their international performance versus their club performance, and vice versa. It does work that way as well, where someone can be fantastic at the club level and you try to bring them in and there's just either no harmony or they're used to working in a different method or this and that. Yeah, I mean it's always a very risky thing. It's one thing if he was playing at that level, because he was at Fiorentina, right? If he was playing absolute lights out like he was at Morocco at Fiorentina, like it's different. Because it shows that you're able to adapt to people that are outside of your nationality, outside of your culture and perspective, and like your nation's desired style of play. It just doesn't seem like he's really hitting the ground running, and he just might not. That's the thing as well. He might not. Similar with Rashford as well, where you thought for a couple of years that it was going to be there, and then it was abundantly clear to a lot of people, including me, that it wasn't there. But a lot of the fans still kind of wanted to see what they wanted to see, and would see one performance or maybe two back-to-back as saying, like, oh, well, here he is, he's back. It's like, well, first off, he never really arrived. I'm not trying to be rude about it either, but it's like he was never at the level that you were championing for him to be at. Yeah. Does that mean that he didn't have runs of good form? And at certain points, was he an exceptional forward? Yes. But there was a lot of talk about him being like to that next caliber and staying there, and he never really did either of those two things.
I mean I agree with you on that. I completely agree. There's just a lot of things that I see right now. It's weird because if you compare Newcastle, what was it Ange is doing with Newcastle in such a short period of time.
No, Ange is Tottenham.
No, Ange is Tottenham. Howie, what he's doing with Newcastle in such a short period of time, by now we should have expected Erik ten Hag to be producing at least that form of football, or at least close enough.
Yeah, it shows, and I mean, to use the opposite end of that spectrum, it took Arteta a very long time to get like way more than even Arsenal fans at the time
were willing to.
or expecting. Because I stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't impressed early on.
Yeah.
I thought that there were plenty of options out there. I thought that there were several moments early on in him trying to build things up. And it's like, well, let's just go ahead and get him out, pull the Band-Aid off early, just get this thing over with. Luckily, that didn't happen for those fans. But then also, and then people will blame the fans. They're like, oh, well, you wanted him out 4 years ago. It's like, well, no shit, because he wasn't doing well 4 years ago. It's like, we've had this conversation where it's like you when a player doesn't play well, and you tell the truth, and then that player starts playing well, and then people try to attack the one that was saying that he wasn't playing. It's like, well, he wasn't playing well.
Yeah,
I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's still playing poorly or he's still a poor manager. It's like, no, you're allowed to change your mind based on the facts in front of you. Like we're intelligent human beings. I think we are.
Yeah,
I think we have the capacity to be. There is nuance in there, and and that applies with Rashford as well. I mean, he can play well, but it doesn't mean much.
12 games so far, 2 goals scored, 1 assist. That's pretty poor for someone that's attacking.
Yeah, that he was at certain points expected to have 20 in the season.
Yeah, at least at this time, even if he didn't have 20, at least 10 for a winger.
Yeah. I meant by the end of the season.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
no, by the end of the season,
that's what he was expected at certain points to have, and he
definitely
just doesn't really do that.
So the thing about that, I wonder what Erik ten Hag is gonna do. I know the blame or the focus is always going towards him, but I would probably like all the staff and the managerial said they still want him in. They still have confidence in him. So I want to see what he will be doing in the next probably till next season. Provided he instilled that chemistry in him. He might be young in the sense that he wants players to respect him whenever he does something or whatever. But there's so way, so he has to figure that one out. Nobody here can figure that one out.
I wouldn't want to be the one trying to figure it out.
That's just human beings being human beings. So you figure your own style or whatnot. There's a reason why coaches like Mourinho are like, if you messed up, you're gonna be seen forever. They know.
Yeah.
But
and they're not afraid to do that either.
Well, the thing about those guys, they've proven
yeah.
So they have a track record. It's like, even like Arteta right now, at the beginning of the season when he did a lot of the switches, a lot of people were questioning his style of training,
Yeah.
For all coaches, they might question, but it's not as flagrant or flamboyant like someone like Arteta will be, it's just different.
Trying that 3-man back that was not working. What was it, the first 3 or 4 weeks? And he gave up on it.
Yeah,
which is good because it wasn't working. He gave it, and looking back on it, he did the right thing by not stopping too early because you don't want to just abandon something because you didn't get immediate results. That's not how it works. But you also don't want to hold on for too long and lose too much base. But
looking at the games or looking at the last 2-3 performance of Anthony, do you feel like Anthony might improve if the squad was somewhat in terms of communication, chemistry, there was a little bit or light of chemistry? Do you feel like someone like Anthony might improve or be better? Because when you look at his past performance or the last 2 or 3,
2 maybe 3, but mostly 2.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yes, I think that's a possibility. But the price tag that was initially on him, the current state of the squad, I think it's better to just to lump him into the fire sale.
Yeah.
All things must go. That's just me. And you're right. I mean, there is a possibility of that. I'm not saying that it's an impossible thing. I would just want to play it safe and say, okay, we're already going to be cutting so much dead weight. Let's make sure that all 3 of our record signings that we spent a lot of money for that no one held up to their end of the bargain. Let's just get them all out in that one push. I'd rather bring someone in that's been untested at that level than someone that's cost a lot of money that was tested at the level and just didn't do it.
So if I was the coach, I would try to offload Casemiro, Varane. If the Saudi came knocking, you get more money. So I'll offload all of them. Casemiro, Varane, and Wigan. I think those 2 for now, right?
Definitely.
And
Martial, Rashford, I think need to go.
Because
Wan-Bissaka probably needs to go.
Yeah.
He was the reason that goal was conceded. He completely fell asleep and forgot Anthony Gordon was behind him. That was ridiculous. Donny van de Beek.
Yeah.
At a certain point, like, he needs to be going as well.
On the other hand, we had Arsenal Wolves. Arsenal, the first half, Arsenal's defense smothered Wolves.
Yeah.
They couldn't understand what was happening. But also, I blame Arsenal. Arsenal played a really good game. You know, they were authoritative. They dominated. But there's one thing that I'm more angry than the domination is they should have won that game. A, without conceding.
Yeah.
B, with more goals. It means,
yeah, I think I counted 5 really convincing chances. That didn't go in.
So
it could have been 4-0.
These are things that Arsenal needs to fix, because if you want to win the league, you have to be decisive as ever, especially in front of the goal. You have to be efficient. You have to be dominating, and you don't have to give the enemy any chance of coming back in any way, shape, form possible. And that's what they have to do.
And you can't assume that that each team at the higher level is going to be as lost and unable to cope with your offense as Wolves were. You also can't expect to play that sharp every single week, because I mean, other than the Zinchenko mistake that led to the goal, also what a great shot from Cunha though. Like, I mean, Zinchenko turns the ball over, not ideal. There are not too many players that are going to be able to hit that left foot curler at that moment, but he is very good. But other than that, Arsenal were in very good offensive form despite missing the chances at the final. But you can't assume, even like last week, like, you're not always going to play that pretty, or have a team allow you to play that way either. So you need to be able to make every chance complete.
But Martinelli and Ketia, they had shot on goals and he hit the bar or whatever. So those were supposed to be goals at least. But the point is, Arsenal needs to. These are mistakes that they have to fix. If you're gonna win the league, you can't really let this type of things slide. And I told you, Tomiyasu, he's very, very effective, and I feel like that's actually his place. That right wing, right back, that's his place. You leave him there, he's good to go. And assist again, and Zinchenko, he plays very well, but I'm starting to think that there should be an alternative, in the sense that after the 80th or the 70th minute mark, they should plan to change, to put in some fresh blood, because so far I'm
more
saying
defensive minded.
So far I'm saying that when the game comes close to an end, it seems like he get a little relaxed. He get a little bit. He's not
probably a bit tired as well, because he's been making forward runs the entire game.
So we need that's a thing that has to be adjusted.
And you have options. You have Ben White that can come in.
I think you have Kiwar.
You have Kevior as well. I mean, you've got people that can come in for that.
But two things that I would say about Arsenal. The chemistry is unmatchable.
It is.
Oh my goodness. The first goal and the second goal. The second
team
goal
goals, both of them were great.
Yeah, team goals. And I love the way they all wanted to celebrate together. And Odegaard is a really, really great captain. And
both of those goals involved Jesus.
Yes.
In link up, and they were all little triangles in which Jesus was the centerpiece. So he was that crux angle of the triangle that was really sending people in completely different directions. He's so versatile in terms of where he can distribute the ball versus where his body is positioned. There are a lot of guys that aren't that smooth on the ball, that have to pivot in very obvious ways where it's clear where the ball is going, and you can close down the channel easier. But he is just able to send the ball in a 360 area. No matter where he is, and he was instrumental
I like
in both
this
those goals.
one-touch pass, especially that first goal. It was so quick, so fast. It was difficult to for Wolves defense to even get a hold. And man, Saka, like I said, Saka's my boy. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Saka's magic, and he's killing it so far.
Yeah, he's great.
That was what he had an assist and a goal, or just a goal? No, he just had a goal. Yeah, because
the goal.
Tomiyasu had an assist and Zinchenko an assist.
He was the assist for the Odegaard goal.
But he played great. And
on paper, I think that Jesus should have had 2 assists. Technically, I mean, I understand that it's not an assist, but come on, dude, those might as well have been partially his assists.
It comes from the first pass initiated.
Yeah, he's fantastic. There was a moment at the beginning of the second half where Gabriel challenges Cunha. Yeah, and Cunha goes to the ground, and Gabriel like yanks him up by his shirt. Did you see that?
Yeah. No.
He's on the ground, kind of complaining, and Gabriel just kind of grabs him by the collar. He doesn't like jerk him up or like, but he just like get your ass up, bitch. It's very funny to me. I like that. I saw something. I forget who said it, but he's like, Saliba. If you challenge him, he's quick. He's swift. He's smooth with the ball. Yeah. He's not going to give in to anything that you do. Whereas Gabriel, he loves when you challenge him. He'll get back in your face, and it's like he's very physical. Saliba's very physical too, but Gabriel is much more of a. He reminds me of like in another life he was an American football player. He's that level of physical, and he's big enough to have done it as well.
Saliba is just it's one of those guys. I see a lot of Maldini in terms of playing style, in the sense that he's more of a clean defender.
Very clean.
And he had, I think that was his first yellow card of the season, actually. I think so.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't had a yellow card since the season started. Him and I forgot, probably Odegaard. Not Odegaard. Him and another player, but Saliba, that was his first yellow card.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I get my stats right.
Sometimes. Whereas Kai Havertz has 4 yellow cards. Jesus.
And this guy is a sub.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, Jesus.
But I like the game so far. I think the fact that they are so well connected, so well immersed, they all want to win together as a team.
Yep. Yeah.
And they play a team game. The individuality comes to play, but it's more of a team and a collective. And that and to win this season, if they want to win the league, they want to be a contender. Even in the Champions League, that style of play will get them far.
Yes.
Because it's not. And that's what I was saying for Real Madrid. It's more individuality, which I love. But if there was some sort of collective applied to it, it would have been a little bit more, not a little bit, but much more dangerous.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I don't want to talk about Madrid today, but my boy, he had an assist. He's killing it.
Yeah.
And Arsenal is sitting at the top of the league, 33 points. I think so.
Especially with the, we can talk about them next, the Manchester City versus Tottenham draw. That was what helped create them more of a point difference.
I wonder how people feel about that last action you showed me.
Yeah, they've been throwing a fit. I was looking at it last night and this morning. They're not having a good time with that. And it's like, it seems like once a week now, every single week, something is happening with either VAR or referee's decision that they're having to make an apology for.
Yeah,
like an open apology, not just like well, we're gonna forget this. It's like like an official like statement of we were wrong.
Yeah,
we shouldn't have done that. This was. It's like, and how much longer can that go on?
And that ref, I think his name is Simon Hopper. He's gonna ref this. He's gonna ref this week actually. Liverpool forgot Liverpool against somebody. So I don't know if the association or the ref made an apology for him, but they're not standing him down. Well, so he's gonna still ref.
And unfortunately, I mean, he had a good game other than that.
Yeah.
Like he had a fine game in terms of decision making and in terms of being consistent. Unfortunately, one mistake can tarnish an entire performance, just like an athlete, just like a coach.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate, but that's the way that athletics work.
Now, do you see City? When you see City, weekday, week in, week out, and you see Arsenal, do you feel like Arsenal has a much better chance winning the league this year than they had last year? With the same, like just comparing from year to year.
Well, and it's clear. So last season was interesting. It was a very fun, very emotional. Because they were playing with such energy and they looked so aggressive, and you can tell that they were
also a little bit they were not matured enough.
Exactly. And it showed that they were kind of running more on emotion than on composure and tactics. And you see that when Saliba gets hurt at the end of the season, and they lose a lot of that emotion, and all of a sudden they're not getting those same results. But they were playing in top gear all season until it wore off at the end. Whereas people were saying at the start of this season, like, oh, well, they're not matching the same intensity. It's like, that could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Because now we're seeing more consistent play. They're still in second gear.
Yeah.
They've not even gotten to whether they are doing it by choice or because they can't yet. We don't really know. But it seems like they're more consistent, even though they're not as flashy. They're not as showy. They don't seem as energetic. Again, not the worst thing in the world, because they're still getting the results.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's like they're treating this year like a marathon, where last year they were treating it like a sprint, and they burnt themselves out early. They needed to maintain that level of high energy for 4 more weeks?
Yes.
Which is a lot to ask, but like that's how close it got. Whereas if they are at the top of the table right now, playing at 70% of what they did last season in terms of intensity and quality overall, they have more of an opportunity, and they're more likely to maintain consistency throughout this season. So yes, you are right. They're more mature. They're not needing to go 100 miles an hour the entire game. It does feel like they have a capacity to become even better. But they are not doing it. And again, I don't know if it's by choice. If they're going to have it later on in the season, or if they for some reason can't quite get that extra bit out that they were able to get last season.
What would you get in that team as a new blood or as a new sign? Because looks like Arteta is open to selling Partey. And if you sell Partey, who are you putting? Or do you even want to put someone and just let this squad be this squad?
I think for safety, it'd be nice to have someone else in the midfield. I mean, just because last year, injuries were what got in the way. So it's a very scary thing. And I mean, really, there are no, save for City and Madrid, that have these wildly dense squads. Most squads, if you remove someone from the starting 11, their replacement is nowhere near that player's quality. But City and Madrid are the ones that have that luxury. So it's not that it's uncommon, right, to have a drop off in terms of quality, but like you would like to have an extra midfielder, that auxiliary player that can kind of step in for like a league, for a cup game or something like that. They really need someone up top though. Victor Osimhen and Ivan Toney. Really, Victor Osimhen, I think, would be the number one.
Now that Napoli has been in such a rocambolesque form,
shitting the bed, I believe is what they call it.
Would you, if you were Victor Osimhen, would you leave?
Yes, you leave.
And who
immediately.
You go for? I would go for Arsenal, because I feel like Arsenal will better suit his football style, and the fact that Arsenal players are not predominantly strikers, so that
no competition for what he does.
He does, and you have a lot of feeders, because Saka feeds the ball. Martinelli feeds them. Trossard, Tommy, so everybody
Odegaard
feeds the ball because it's a collective. So you're going in, and I can see you even getting individual accolades.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that he should already have his bags packed.
Yeah,
they should already be in the trunk of his car and be like,
as soon as they want me, I'm leaving. Okay. If I'm Arteta, I have a lot of money. If I sell Partey, I have some money. If there was a player to get, because I want to be lethal in front of the goal. I don't want to fumble. I don't want the things that I saw. I'm buying. I'm taking a striker in.
And I think for you to replace Thomas Partey, you have someone that has a long stride, able to cover a lot of horizontal space. Not the paciest guy, but has good medium to long threaded passes. You see there's a squad in Spain particularly that has a lot of extra weight in the midfield that could go. They've wanted to... Madrid have been very open to the fact of selling Tchouaméni.
Yeah, they could get Tchouaméni.
I think
Tchouaméni will still fit in the system, because he's a team player.
Yes.
And
that'd be a very... could you imagine in January, Osimhen and Tchouaméni together? That'd be wild.
That Arsenal will be so competitive.
That would be great. I would say at that point you are not guaranteeing, because there's nothing guaranteed in Europe, obviously. But you would expect Arsenal to get to the semifinals of the Champions League, and you should win the league.
So your 80-20, your 80% is it's pretty much done. They just got to get in the 20%.
Yep.
Absolutely. So that actually...
That would be a really good little double signing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'll regret. Now that's a team I will root for.
Yeah.
Because my boy.
You turncoat. We won't have you. We won't have you.
Well, it doesn't mean I want to root for Madrid because I don't see who is gonna beat Madrid in Champions League this year.
If they met in the Champions League, it'd be so funny. You'd be one of the guys that would cut 2 kits in half and just stitch them together and just have like an Arsenal Real Madrid kit together.
Yeah,
that'd be a nightmare.
I definitely would do that. Talking about Haaland's performance and what happened at the end of the game, do you think that was fair? And what would happen in the referee's head to end the game when obviously prior to the last action he had given an advantage for the game to keep going on, and then suddenly you end the game and knowing well, because and this is weird because that's such a debutant move. That's such a novice move because in all my life of watching football, when an action is being played, even when it's at the last minute or even exceeded the last minute and the ball and that action is being played in where there is a potential goal, the ref never stopped that action. Never.
And it was such a delay on the whistle as well. You could tell that he was uncertain of what he was doing or what he should do at the same time. It was very strange. And the only reasonable, and I don't want to say reasonable because it's not reasonable, the only excuse that I've heard that comes even close to explaining why he did what he did was that maybe he didn't see Grealish making that forward run because the 2 defenders, maybe they eclipsed him and you couldn't see him. So he thought that Haaland booted the ball away for no reason, which I'm not saying it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's the closest attempt that someone's had to rationalizing that decision.
Yeah.
And a very strange bit of circumstances. Haaland doesn't flop. He gets immediately back up because he's an aggressive player. He's not a flopper. And he makes a great pass over the top.
Yeah.
Grealish has 2 defenders behind him, about to have a one-on-one with the keeper. And the referee just assumes that the play is dead. I don't understand that.
But what the hell is happening in England?
Yeah,
most of the ref most of the arbit. I wanted to that my French was gonna come out. Most of the ref cases are coming out of England. Most of the time, and you have all these leagues, although they have their own problems, but every single week there's always something about refereeing.
Every single week.
Yeah.
So and it's like the only thing that you really see in the Champions League, maybe you see some soft penalties. You see some handball calls where at the domestic level they're probably not calling them. The arm is in a natural position, like a running position or whatnot. That's mostly what's been coming out of the Champions League. It's just very soft, very very pansy calls. Yeah. Whereas these are like sort of in the final minutes of a game, either awarding or like ignoring foul. It's like very, very strange. It's almost like a WWE match finish, and minus the run in. Yeah, it's very strange.
And most of these ref or refereeing, it's all issues or faults that shouldn't be ref at all, because it to the eyes of everyone is just something you shouldn't do. It looks like you took a bunch of new ref and just put them on the field to ref games like that. But
every single week there's
week,
one thing at least.
There's something that's got to be done, and we got to investigate the league. It's time. It's time. Yeah. Something must have been happening. Well, I'm so happy right now because Arsenal is sitting at top. Let's see how long they will maintain that. They are 33 points now. I think the second will be City at 31 or Liverpool at 31.
Liverpool is second at the moment.
Yeah, okay. That will be 31 points. But how long will that run continue? That's what we're going to be watching all this season. Hopefully, we see Arsenal getting their first league title in so many years. In the Bundesliga, we had Bayer Leverkusen, Dortmund, and how did you feel about that game? And did you see my guy? He's also my guy, Victor Boniface.
I know he's your guy. Yeah. I saw him.
I'm telling you, you give him a year, he's up there contending a lot of teams will want him as the striker. I see him getting big contracts.
He's one of those guys that won't stay at that club for very long.
For very long, yeah. I see him leaving as soon as the opportunity arises. It was a 1-1. It wasn't that flashy. You know, it was.
Dortmund's just not that flashy anyway. So,
well, Dortmund is more a shadow of itself. But
and because they're currently sitting at 5th place, right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah,
my app just froze, so I'm trying my best to get back to it. But I believe the last time I checked, they were 5th. They are indeed 5th, yeah. With Leipzig, Stuttgart, Bayern, and then Leverkusen at top. Wild, interesting table for the German sides here.
Do we finally see a year where it's unpredictable? A year where Bayern Munich doesn't win the league.
Well, and then also a time in a rare circumstance when Bayern doesn't win the league, and it's not Dortmund. Because that's usually the way it is.
Yeah.
If Bayern don't win, then it's usually Dortmund that comes in. Leipzig occasionally makes a good run, but like Leverkusen, Stuttgart, and Leipzig, all running past Dortmund. To get to a Bayern that it's not even that they're playing poorly. It's not that they're playing poorly. It's that Leverkusen and Stuttgart are just playing so much better than what is expected of them.
That's crazy because if Xavi Alonso win, I don't know if he's going to go to Real Madrid or Real Madrid is going to take him. But if he wins the league before going there, do you imagine how awesome that would be?
Yeah.
We've going with the whole confidence in the world because you just won the league with a small team. You took them to from the bottom to the top. You win, you go to Madrid. Oh man, he's just gonna be carrying all that aura with him. And I kid you not, he's gonna be winning again. Because because as soon as he gets his ticket to Madrid, there's so many league titles waiting for him. There's so many Champions League waiting for him. There's so many everything waiting for him. It's like giving him free candies.
Free candies.
Yeah, he's gonna take them all.
Like, look at this right here. The last time, let's see, Bundesliga. Bayer Leverkusen have never won the league title. They've been runners-up in the 96, 98, 99, 2001, and 2010 seasons. That's it.
All right.
They've won one DBF Pokal, which is 1992, is my birth year.
Oh, nice.
And they were a UEFA Champions League runner-up in 2001, 2002. That was a big year for them. They did win the Europa League in 87-88 season.
Okay.
But that would be an absolutely insane turn of events for Bayer Leverkusen. I really hope that happens.
That would be insane for my. And if they do, I would see definitely Boniface is gonna be leaving. I know for sure.
The only thing that makes me a little bit sad is that
after that they're sinking now or what?
No, it's that Harry Kane because he deserves a cup.
Oh. That's what I was gonna say. It's gonna be then the Hurricane curse has gotta be true.
It's gotta be. I 100% agree.
It's gotta be true
because he's a Tottenham guy, so I should despise him.
Yeah,
but I never did. I never did.
Not winning the title after you go to the champions. Like you go play with the champions, you still don't win the title.
Well, and the fact that he is playing so well.
Yeah,
it's not that he is playing poorly.
If he wasn't come on, they would have told him to go take a shower in the village to go wash himself. Yeah, because he might be cursed by the gods.
Well, and I'll say it one more time because it is true. Again, it's not that Bayern are playing badly. It's not that he's playing badly. It's that these teams, these smaller sides, are just playing that much better than they usually do. That the league is very competitive, and it's like it would be a damn shame if that's the reason that he comes in and doesn't get any silverware that he, I believe, deserves.
Yeah, well, he still got another year for sure. If they don't win this year, they're gonna win.
100%
for sure. He's gonna win.
He will have some silverware.
Yeah,
more than likely by the end of the season as well. Again, not surprising if they come back and take the league for themselves, or win the Pokal. The domestic cup. I do see some silverware. And again, I would still say that they are third most likely to win the Champions League overall.
Overall,
I would say Madrid, City, and then Bayern. Yeah, in terms of likeliness to win the Champions League. So they're definitely, their season's not over. It's just it's a very interesting turn of events in Germany.
Do we have any Champions League this week?
We do not.
We do not.
No. Champions League is next.
Oh.
next week. That'd be nice. And that'll be the end of the group stage.
Oh, nice.
We will know for sure.
I know Newcastle has to win if they want.
Newcastle have to win.
Yeah.
And I believe that they will. The goal difference for Milan is just shocking. But the must-see matches, this is what I'm assuming that we will do. And again, we'll have another episode
Talking
of the main show before. Manchester United and Bayern.
Yeah.
Probably need to watch that one. And then on the Wednesday, we have to watch Dortmund host PSG.
Okay.
For that top slot of the group. Everything else is pretty much just kind of shaking down at a normal rate. But yeah. Well, and once again, just so that everybody is, because we have new subscribers. And also, I want to say thank you guys. The metrics have looked very good over the last month. Really, the last 2 weeks have been very surprising as well. We're trying to get as many shorts to you as possible. It seems like you really like the shorts. But on December 23rd, with Liverpool hosting Arsenal, we will do a watch along in which we will publish the match, us watching the match and talking about the match within a couple of hours of the final score of the game. So that'd be nice. And then we are sort of using that as a dress rehearsal for when we do the live watch along for the Champions League final.
Nice.
So we should have a couple of 3, maybe 4 full watch alongs by the end of the season.
Okay.
And make that a staple for the future.
All right. For all those who don't know, you guys are about to know. All our links are down below.
They are down below always.
Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and all the links are below this video as soon as it gets released.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, go show us some support, some love. And for that, next episode is gonna be next week. And thank you very much. And
thank you guys.
Subscribe. Bye.
Goodbye.